Hey, Arian here from IgnitePOST, and today I am going to walk through one of our newest service offerings, which is IgnitePOST Anonymous Visitor Identification, or AVID for short. Now, if you haven't heard of this before, it's super powerful, and essentially what it lets you do is identify up to 40% of anonymous website traffic to your website without visitors having to do anything. So simply by dropping a quick script on your site, you can identify up to 40% of anonymous web traffic and then nurture and follow up with them afterwards to convert those leads into actual paying customers. So today, what I want to do is walk through and actually show you exactly how IgnitePOST does this and give you a quick overview of some of the features that we offer. So as a quick overview of AVID, it's very easy to use. So like I said, number one, you drop a quick snippet of code on your website or any page that you want to identify anonymous web traffic, and that's it. Your installation is done. From there, IgnitePOST Anonymous Visitor ID will identify up to 40% of website visitors on a per person level. So this is actually on a per person level. So you get the actual individual person that is visiting your website. We're able to identify the visitor's name, email address, postal address, as well as other demographic information. In fact, there's over 40 pieces of information that go along with the information that comes in. So you can really use that to your advantage to figure out what the best way to follow up with that person is, or even if that person is a good qualified potential lead to follow up with. The important thing to keep in mind here is that there is no form fill or login required. Avid automatically identifies people just from their site visit alone. And then again, we give you the data. So you own the data. We don't keep it and put it behind a wall or anything. We give you all of the data. You own it, and you can do anything you want with it. So what does the customer experience look like? So it's pretty simple. So somebody hits your website or any page where you have the IgnitePOST Avid script installed, and then that's it. From there, IgnitePOST Avid will identify the visitor, and then the prospect receives a handwritten letter from you, as well as gets entered into your email list and your nurture sequence. So this is an example of what happens on the customer side when a customer hits a site that has our Avid script installed. Now, there's a lot of different things that you can do, but this is just an example of how we use the service and what you can do with the product. Now, on the other side, I want to talk a little bit about the experience that you're going to get. So what does your experience look like? So same thing. So the prospect visits your website, hits your website that has the Avid script installed. IgnitePOST Avid identifies the visitor, typically within seconds. And then what we do is we can provide real-time person-level data. So in seconds, we identify who the visitor is. And on the right, you can see an example of some of the information that's available. So their email address, their first and last name, their gender, their age range, some demographic information, income range, net worth, of course, their postal address that we can actually send out a handwritten card to the person, and then information about their work, so their LinkedIn profile, some of their social profiles, as well as some other information about traffic sources. So all of this gets pulled up within seconds and identified. So it's super powerful for you to know who is visiting your website, regardless of whether they actually log in or fill out a form or fill out a contact form or anything. So you can imagine that means that there are a number of things that you can do. So from a functionality standpoint, you can take these contacts or these tracking elements or the attributes, some things like page visited, and you can feed them into anything that you want on your side. So obviously you can start with feeding them into your CRM system. So you can easily do that. You can create custom audiences using these folks and then feed that into your ads engine. And of course, which is what we do at IgnitePOST, is you can send them mail. So you can actually trigger real handwritten notes to these folks because we do have their postal address. So a couple things. So we do real-time email validation. So basically what happens is when a visitor gets anonymously identified, we go an extra mile to make sure that the email address that we have for that person is actually a valid deliverable address. And if it's not, then we don't give it to you. We don't charge you for it. We just remove these and they don't show up, because if we are not confident that you'll be able to actually reach out and email the person, then we don't give you that result. There's a couple of different things that we use in terms of criteria to figure out if this person, this anonymous visitor, is a valid visitor or not. And so one, we make sure that the email is not invalid. So if the mailbox isn't found or doesn't accept mail, again, it won't pop up as a visitor. If it's a spam trap, so we have technology to determine if certain emails are classified as spam traps, and if so, we don't provide that to you because that's just going to hurt your email deliverability. There are certain emails and certain folks that are considered complainers and abusers. If that is known, then again, we don't provide that email just to protect you. And there are people on do not mail lists. So obviously, if they are on the do not mail list and they visit your site, they're not going to show up because you can't reach out to them because they have opted out. And then last is just if they're unknown. If for some reason we're not able to validate for one reason or the other, then we just step away. We don't give you that contact. So we really go the extra mile to make sure that all the contacts that we give you are valid. So here are some examples of what you can actually do with the data when you've identified someone who has anonymously visited your website. So you can obviously put them in email nurture sequences and put them through nurture flows that get people further down in your funnel. So that's one of the things that we see most common. We do that here at IgnitePOST. You can do one-on-one advertising. So you can create, like I said, custom audiences and do more targeted digital advertising, especially if you know the specific pages that a specific visitor was visiting. You can do really deep segmentation. So you can either qualify or disqualify people based on some of that demographic information that they have provided, or who they are, what kind of title they have, all kinds of things. And then obviously integrations. So there's over 3,000 integrations you can hook up to. We have IgnitePOST, and obviously we've got a Zapier integration, which connects you to thousands of other apps. So it's quick and easy. We can do custom integrations. Basically, anything you want to do is typically achievable. It just depends on what you're actually trying to go for and what you're trying to achieve. So we've come up with some best practices. This is how IgnitePOST uses AVID, and we have a 3-step process that has proven very, very effective. So, and this is actually an example of us using our own product. So the first thing that happens is when somebody hits IgnitePOST and AVID identifies an anonymous visitor, we get a Slack notification immediately. We have a dedicated channel set up for these Slack notifications, and within seconds of the person being on our site, we have that Slack notification pop up in our Slack channel. Gives us information that you see over on the left here, like their name, the pages that they visited, their email, their contact address, job title, LinkedIn URL, and a bunch of other good things. The second thing that we do is we trigger a handwritten letter to this person if we are able to determine their postal address. So we send a handwritten letter immediately. And then what we do is we take that person and we put them into our email nurture sequence. Now, again, you can get super fancy with this, depending on how far down the rabbit hole you want to go. If you know that there's a specific page that someone is looking into, you can always give them very, very specific nurture sequences, as well as say specific things in the handwritten letter that you send. So we do all of those things. And if you are interested in knowing some best practices and seeing some examples of what we do, reach out to our team. You can reach out to support@ignitepost.com, and we'd be happy to take you through it and show you. So just a couple of overview features that I want to talk through. So AVID features, number one, we identify visitors who are based in the USA, so it only works in the US. Because of that, it's GDPR compliant, so you have full reign to reach out to these folks. These are folks that have already opted in to receive marketing communication previously, so you can put them into nurture sequences and reach out to them. So it's fully GDPR compliant. We identify people on a person level basis. So it's not just someone from company ABC has visited your site. This is actually Bob Smith at Acme Inc. has visited your site. So person level, not company level. In addition to the person's name and postal address and email address, AVID provides over 40 different attributes for each visitor that are identified. It includes household level data, so income ranges, net worth, and things like that, as well as contact information. And then the last thing I'll mention is we have a cookie consent banner that's built into the site. So just by dropping that script on your site, you can actually opt to have people opt into cookies and let them know that you're using cookies to track people. You don't have to use it, but we do have that ability built in. A lot of our customers like to just turn that on just for an extra measure of safety and legality, just for comfort. So we do have that built into the site, and just by using the script, you can just toggle that on or off. So those are some features of AVID. If you haven't used this yet, like I said, reach out and talk to our team. We'd be happy to go over some best practices and show you how we use it internally and how we see success with it at IgnitePost. But this is super powerful, and we really hope that you enjoy this and that you can take advantage of it and that it helps you close more business and grow your business quicker and better. So thanks so much, and hope to talk to you soon. Bye, everybody.